Yo, what's good? It's Anime Waves, and we've got the JoJo's protagonist and antagonist tier list with my friend the Masked Man here today. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yo, what's up? Thank you for having me on.
No problem. So we just got parts 1 through 7 for this video, cause I'm currently only up to part 7 in the manga. But I know he's read up to 8, but we're gonna skip that because obviously I haven't read it. But first
Right.
up on the tier list, we got Jonathan Joestar. Now, I think he's pretty underrated in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
in like the whole character
Yeah.
aspect.
Yeah. I think Jonathan's very simple, right? He's very,
Yeah.
very simple. And so I definitely don't think he's the best or in the upper half, but I don't think he's writing wise, I would probably say he's the most simple. I don't think any of them are bad when it comes to like the JoJo protagonists,
Mm.
but I think, since we have S, A, B, C, D, I'm fine with putting him in C, right?
Yeah.
C or B because I think he's okay, right? I think he's fine. He's personally one of my favorites, but so if it was like my own personal bias, Jonathan would be up in like A or S, but I'm fine with like a C or a B
Yeah,
because I think
I'll
the
probably
earlier
agree
ones.
with the C. Like, I don't think he's D worthy because like there's nothing particularly wrong with his character, but he's just not
Right.
complex at all to be up in the higher parts. I know what you mean by that.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think what works is, people that are like, "Oh, Jonathan's so basic and he's so, he's just a good guy." And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I think it works perfectly because he contrasts Dio in part 1, who's like the most hateable person
Yeah.
ever. So even though you love Dio's charisma, like you're rooting for Jonathan. You love
Yeah.
you want Jonathan to win unless, you're a psychopath. But
Yeah.
no, yeah, like I love Jonathan, but C is definitely where he
Yeah, I
belongs, I
think
think.
C is the place for Jonathan to be. Now, with Dio Part 1, I don't know if this is an unpopular or whatever, but I actually like Dio Part 1 better than I like Dio Part 3.
We're on the same page. We are on
Yeah.
the same
I
page.
don't know, he's just more evil and cunning in Part 1. I guess it's because we see him more, like, overall.
Yeah, I was gonna say in part 3, I think he's saved to the end, which is good for building him up when once
Yeah.
you find out that Dio is the final antagonist. But I will say, like the biggest moment, like the Zawardo and Roto Roller and all that stuff, it got spoiled for me because the memes, right? And
Yeah.
even if it wasn't, I think what makes part 1 Dio, why I would put him above part 3 Dio, is because I feel like part 1 Dio is we get to see how he became Dio.
Yeah.
Part 3 we
The
just accept
storyline.
that's how he is,
Yeah.
and yeah. So I personally have part 1 Dio at like an A tier. I
Yeah,
think
I
part
was
1 Dio is like
thinking
an A
like he's
tier.
not up there with the like he's iconic. Dio's just an iconic character like in general in like the JoJo's the fan base and community. Like
Right.
he's like what'll get you into JoJo. Like you'll see a clip of his doing something or like a meme, and you watch JoJo's from that. But I feel like he's really iconic, and like he doesn't have to
Mhm.
have a well written character because of just literally the hype around him and like it's just Dio, man. Yeah, I feel like he
Right,
deserves the
yeah.
A as well. I
Part
agree
1
with you on that.
thrives. Yeah,
Yeah,
part 1 thrives off of simplicity for sure.
facts. Yeah, it doesn't
So
need to be
yeah.
anything more complex, though, especially with part 1. It's like the build
Right.
up for like the next parts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so Joseph. Now, you either love Joseph and he's one of your favorites, or you don't like him that much. And for me, I love Joseph as a character. He's like up there with the top. I'd have to put him in S. Are you not a Joseph lover?
Joseph is actually like my least favorite of
Least
all the
favorite. That's what
JoJos.
I mean. You either love him or you hate him.
I The thing is, I'm not too fond of part 2 overall. I'm not.
Oh wow. Yeah.
We're gonna get to Cars next, and I
Yeah.
think you and I are gonna agree on Cars.
Yeah.
But like, I get the love for Joseph,
Mm.
but for me, he's like B A. But
BA. Okay. Yeah.
so
So not
if you
terrible.
want to throw him
Just
up,
not S. Yeah.
yeah. But listen, don't look. I'm biased, right? I just don't like his personality all that much. To me, it
Yeah.
comes off as corny after
Yeah.
a while. But he is standout. And if we're gonna include all of Joseph's character, I do like how he is also in part 3. So I'm fine if we throw Joseph up in S.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just to make sure your like to dislike ratio isn't
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin that.
Yeah. I don't know though, cause like every time Joseph comes on screen in part 2, like it's just I enjoy watching it in part 2. He made part 2 what part 2 was. Like, obviously, cause he's the protagonist, but like every time he popped on the screen, I just loved seeing him, man, in action and stuff.
No, I will say that Joseph does have that strength for him. Again,
Yeah.
taking my bias out of it. Like a lot of the other parts, you would argue it's the antagonist who's the
Yeah.
standout one.
Yeah.
Other than like say part 3 and part 2. All the other times it's the antagonist. But yeah, all right, I'm fine with Joseph up in S.
So what do you actually think of Kaz then? What was your opinion?
Terrible, D
Terrible,
tier,
yeah.
terrible. I think he's the worst antagonist in Wamu was so much better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Wamu was such a chad. He was way better than what Kaz was. He should have been the final villain, man.
Yeah.
I don't know,
for sure.
like the whole ultimate Kaz stuff. I didn't actually like it at all. I think if they ended part 2 like just with the Pillarman and like the final battle is that, instead of just like the whole sky thing with cars, nah, yeah, I'll probably put him in like, I don't know, C or D, but I don't think he's on Jonathan's level.
Yeah,
I would have
because
to
I
probably
like
put him
the,
in D.
yeah. All right. Well, the next 3 are going to be interesting.
Oh
The
yeah.
next 3 are going to be interesting to talk about because Jotaro is my personal favorite one.
Oh wow.
But I'm going to be honest. I think like there's not all that much to him either. Like I really don't think there is.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, part 3 Jotaro, I actually like him more in part 4 and part 6. But part 3 Jotaro and part 3 Dio can both go in B tier for me. B and A.
Yeah,
B or
yeah.
A.
I'll put them both in B actually. I don't know.
Both of them.
Jotaro's character is well for what it does, but that's about it. Like, you know, being the badass character that, you know, everyone loves because he just beats the villains every time. But other than, like, just being cool, he doesn't do much else.
Right, yeah. I mean, he's the protagonist of the part, and that's fine, but
Yeah. I would agree to put them both in B tier, actually.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Okay, Josuke. I actually don't know how I feel about Josuke, because I don't like...
I I'm not gonna lie. I'm not too fond of Josuke either. I don't dislike him at all. I really don't. I just don't. I don't. For me, part 4 is really the Kira show for the majority of it. And in
Definitely,
fact,
yeah.
I liked characters like Koichi more than I did Josuke. I mean, you could argue that's an issue with like all the JoJo parts that there's like a side character, a Joe bro,
Yeah.
like more than the main one. But for me, Josuke, like I feel like most people will put him above Jotaro. I just don't see it. Like
Nah, yeah,
maybe
I
it's
actually
just me,
agree.
but I don't see it.
I actually agree that Jotaro is probably better than Josuke. I don't know. There seems to be like a lack of depth with his character. Like we got the whole the
Yeah.
guy saved him from the cold car, but other than that, he was just friends with Okuyasu and just helped Jotaro.
Yeah, and I think that was the point. Like he was meant to, but now that I'm looking at it, part 1 Dio being an A, I feel like we should bump up maybe Josuke and Jotaro to A. Because I don't feel like part 1 Dio's like an entire tier above, because let's be honest, Dio, even though he's super cool in part 1, he's also very simple,
Yeah.
like charismatic, but he's just evil. Like that, there's not like this huge.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna be consistent with it, I'm willing to bump up Josuke and Jotaro up in A with part 1 Dio.
Yeah, I actually would agree with that. Like, there's only so far you can go with being simple. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be a top tier character just from off the fact of being so simple and cool. But yeah, I would agree with that. So bumping up Jotaro and Josuke to A tier.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would
that
agree
looks
with that.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I don't think Joseph is like a whole 2 tiers better than Joseph.
No, probably not. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Kira.
Next one.
S. That's just a straight S for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Without a doubt.
There's there's no discussion needed. Kira as a character, like if you've watched JoJo's and have a brain, he's one of your top. He's one of your favorites.
Yeah, no. Kira's dope. Ran part 4 for sure.
Honestly, top 10 antagonist of all time. Like in my opinion, he's up there with like all the antagonists.
I could vibe with it.
Yeah.
I could vibe with it. Okay. Now the next one is a little tricky for me. Because thematically, I understand what's behind Giorno, the idea of fate.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people love Giorno.
Yeah,
I'm very indifferent towards Giorno. Very indifferent.
I don't know. Like we see in part 5, I didn't feel like the connection with the main character like the other parts. Personally, I liked Bucciarati better, but that goes to the problem with the Joe Bros, you know, be more likable than the main character sometimes. But I just didn't see that connection with his.
Just I understand what they're doing with this character, but and I've said this before, I just felt like him being the combination of Dio and Jonathan, that was a concept that could have been expanded upon a lot more than it was. It
Yeah.
just really felt like it was thrown out there. And because like Giorno's fine. Giorno's fine. You know, A tier, like I don't know why I have to justify my reasoning. He's high up. He's an A
Yeah,
tier.
yeah. He's an A tier for sure. Uh,
Diavolo, on the other hand.
yeah. I don't know. The whole like mystery, like it was nowhere near like the hype that Dio had in part 3, I think anyway. Like when we got his
Yeah.
character, like it was kind of underwhelming. Like, you know, with the big build up,
Yeah.
the mafia boss, it just and then like, you
He
know, the
was better
Doppio
before
thing
the
was
reveal.
cool,
Yeah.
but I just don't think like he is better than Dio part 3.
Yeah, I definitely think he's better than Jonathan Part 1 though. So I'm willing to
Yeah,
put him
yeah.
up in B as well.
Yeah, I'll put him after Dio part 3 in B tier.
All right. Yeah.
Jolene, a lot of people, you know, oh, female character, part 6 is bad. But for part 6 for me, I personally really enjoyed, and people underrate it a lot, in my opinion,
For
anyway.
me, Jolene's high A. For me,
Yeah.
Jolene's high A. Yeah,
Like, I
for
don't
me
get where
she's
the
high.
haters are on her character. Like, when people say they don't like Jolene, there's no reasoning behind it.
I think I've never really heard people personally, right? Mind you, this is a very subjective experience. Everybody has different ones.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I've heard a lot more people say that part 6 is disrespected. And I think Jolene's fine, but again, I definitely think characters like Weather Report and Poochie, who's on this list, definitely take the cake.
Yeah.
But Jolene is dope. No, she's a dope character. I think she's a good example of writing a character first, then female second. You know, not
Yeah,
worrying
yeah.
about tokenism and just making a character for the sake of satisfying an audience. Jolene's like actually dope as hell. So and she's actually the one who inspired later on Juri Han from Street Fighter's design, and
Oh,
Juri Han
yeah.
is
Crazy.
my bae. So
Yeah.
extra points for that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm willing to put her in higher. I think she deserves that. I think she would be. I don't know if I'll put her before Josuke or after Josuke though.
I personally would have Giorno above her.
Yeah.
I
I
would
get
have
what you mean.
Giorno above her, Josuke below her, then Jotaro, then Part 1 Dio. That's my A tier, but I mean it's your video, your tier list, you know.
Yeah. I'll probably put I don't know. I'll probably put her above Josuke and Giorno, but
Okay.
but below Jotaro and Pawandia. That's just my opinion though.
Oh, okay. All right. No, you good. Interesting.
But
I
the
mean,
thing
they
with
all in the
part
same tier, so.
6, yeah, the thing with
Mhm.
part 6, though, in my opinion, like, whenever you hear part 6, there's someone gonna mention part 6, peak part, you need to skip that and read part 7 or some stuff like that. Because
Nah.
everyone loves part 7 so much to the point where they just disregard part 6 completely. That's just my opinion, like, that's just, like, my experiences with some JoJo fans. Like, you know, after all the
Right.
time loop with, like, the things didn't actually matter, all you need to know is that part 7's got nothing to do with the story, just read that instead. Like,
Yeah.
I can't hang with that. Skipping parts is a crime.
I've been told that, yeah. I remember when I first got into it, I was like, oh, 7's really good. Can I skip 6? And everybody who was with me and the VC
No.
like yelled no at the exact, yeah. But
Yeah.
but we could get on to Poochie then, since
Alright,
we are on the topic of
Poochie
part 6.
he's the goat. I think he's up there, but I don't know if he's I don't know. He's not better than
I think
Kira,
he's S though. He's
but
S
yeah,
for
but
sure.
he's in the same tier.
He's
My
S for
S
sure.
is looking Kira. I would say Poochie before Joseph. So
Oh, no,
then
yeah, same.
that's my 3 in S tier.
Yeah, I think Poochie's great. The only issue I have, and I still do, no matter how many times people try to justify it to me, I just don't. It feels so weird having a character as important as Dio look like that in part 6. Like, it didn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I don't care how people explain it. It just doesn't. My head, mi cabeza. Like, I just don't. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Poochie himself is great.
Yeah,
Poochie himself is great.
Poochie, I don't know, he just got the dynamic and the personality of like someone with Jolene that just makes him a great character in my opinion. I don't know,
No,
like
yeah,
the whole
he's a
church
good
thing
antagonist.
is like weird, but like I like you know the whole part of trying to redo the universe. One of the
Right.
actual villains to genuinely succeed in what he did.
Right. No, yeah, that would be that is something to brag
That's
about.
why just one reason why he's in S tier. He actually succeeded for once compared to the other antagonists.
Right.
But
Right, yeah.
Johnny Joestar. Now, what's your opinions on this guy?
For me, he's the best protagonist in JoJo's.
Damn. Okay,
I
straight
think
up.
I think writing wise, without a doubt. I mean, if Gyro was here, he would also be an S.
Yeah,
But for me,
for sure.
Johnny and the character afterwards, without a doubt, S tier. I have Johnny at the top of S until we slide in this other character. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Johnny for sure has to be.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
I would put him before Kira. I don't know. Kira's just one of those for me. He's just
No,
iconic.
I feel you.
But
I feel you.
I'll put him out just after Kira in my list anyway.
Okay, I feel you. No, I was just gonna say like I'm not gonna be able to sleep well at night knowing that Joseph's in S, not
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
Like John.
Nah. He definitely deserves that place in S.
Yeah.
So the president himself.
S, come on now.
Yeah.
Like Valentine.
Obviously.
Greatest speeches in JoJo's, greatest antag like he
Greatest
the
glow
thing
up in
is
JoJo's as well.
no, oh yeah, like I remember in the span of like 5 panels, he went from fat and ugly to like I'd go gay
Facts.
for. I mean, whoa, hold on, lagging. No, but I just like Valentine's amazing for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
I think that like Valentine and Johnny and Gyro, like those three characters alone are really respect. Also, Ringo Road again is an amazing
Yeah,
part of.
definitely.
No, yeah, Valentine, the whole napkin speech, the way he's built up throughout the entire part, and then the way he just executes upon it when the final part of 7 does come around, like
Perfect.
it's incredible. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I remember reading part 7 at the start. I was like, "Where is the main villain? The villain?
Right.
This Chad I'm seeing, I can't see him anywhere." And then I realized, so I was sending a panel to my friend. Like, oh, this is cool. And then I realized that he's actually the same guy before he glowed up. But it's crazy.
Yeah.
He's such a good character, man. But yeah, I actually think this is a pretty solid list. You know, we got Kaz chilling down at the bottom, and we got a lot of S tier characters.
Right, yeah, but when it comes to tier list, you can literally get everything right, but one character is like one tier below where someone wants him and they start spazzing in the comments.
Why is my favorite
Like,
character
what,
not an
Jolene?
S?
Right, yeah, like he deserves it. Like, shut up, calm down. A is okay. A is like you're almost an S.
Yeah,
right?
most of these tiered lists are like 80% opinion, like 20% actual well written. Well, nah, I say that, but you know, you perceive how well written someone is, to be honest.
Right, yeah, and it's all kind of what you prefer in a character, right?
Yeah.
So you know, like you could definitely make the argument Jorno's up in S.
Yeah,
I would have thrown him down at like B, but like, now let me stop. But
Yeah.
I really had fun doing this. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, this was pretty cool, man. And I doubt you haven't seen his channel already, but you know, go check out Ft.TheMaskedMan. He's such a cool manga channel. And that's pretty much it for the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.